Howdy, pilgrims. Give your saddle a rest and get ready to listen to Art on the Air, an hour-long live rootin' tootin' interview program dedicated to the visual arts and the creative community in and around the golden city of Savannah. Each episode blazes trails on a range of topics out on the art field, and your trail hands, Rob Hessler and David Laughlin, are rounding up some guests, talking about their work, their philosophy, practice, current projects, and there just might be some commentary on that state of the visual arts in our community. They're also highlighting the week's upcoming art-related interests and events in the hostess city and surrounding low country. Shucks, it's better than cayuse and some mavericks in a dusty corral in the sun. I'll stake you to that. Pull up a tumbleweed and welcome to Art on the Air.
Welcome to today's handover episode, where three seasoned professionals teamed up to coach me, an eager newcomer on the art of hosting an arts podcast. My name is Kate Stanton Melendez, and I'll be joined with all of the Arts on the Air former hosts, Tamara Garvey, Rob Hessler, and David Laughlin, where they had 1 hour to give me a masterclass on local arts journalism. And this is the chaos that ensued.
One thing I would recommend here, and if you have, like, the only thing, I mean, you know, let it be your own personality, whatever. You know,
Yeah, let it
I don't know anything about radio. He does know a little bit.
Let it develop.
Is get yourself a good recorder. That would be the one thing I would say. Like, if you can, because if it sounds good, people will think it's good.
True.
Love it.
I mean, I really believe that. And I got like one. I still have. I've had it for now probably for 5 years. And
Podcast equipment?
It's like it's a handheld one, but it has a little chip in it that actually fits right into the side of my Mac. And
right.
You just like.
Oh, I've got one.
And
my sister sent me.
You put the little foam ball thing on the top of it, and then like you record it, and it just sounds better than the phone, which is the phone's fine too. But, you know, I mean, I bought it for $200. I think you could probably get it for $50 now.
The phone is good if you want to add an element of you're out in the field. Like we would go. Well, I mean,
we did that.
I remember this. I did this one fella in one of the squares while he's painting, and while talking to him, and like the UPS truck came through, and we mentioned a few things. Hey, cool squirrel, whatever. But it has that element that you're out in the wild.
Absolutely. I'd go into some First Fridays and I just would see people and I'd be like,
hey.
I'd record, like, hey, what are you up to, you know? Or like somebody was doing a show and I didn't know who they were, like they had an art show, and I'd be like, hey, I have a radio, you know, do you want to talk for a few minutes? And then I pull out the phone.
It's more of my
and you can hear,
who the hell are you?
Who are you and why are you here? This is my art show, motherfucker.
How did you get in here?
How did you get in here?
Love it.
It's true, though.
We had the advantage of being in the studio at first, and so like we had like real, like it sounded like a radio show. It was really clean.
We had the advantage of you knowing how to use the equipment.
Well, because Dave Lake showed me. I didn't know how to really do it.
Better than me. Because I'm lazy.
Yeah,
kind of. Like, hey, Rob can do this. Hey, I just have to show up. This is great.
I mean, I was the
guy.
You were the talent. I was just.
Do you have a good radio voice?
Here's the thing, though, is that, and I've heard this, that Rob did a fantastic job.
I know.
I mean, yeah. And people were like, well, who thought of this? And I was like, well, I pitched it first and got the show. Wait.
I pitched it the
Hold
same
on a minute. Hold on. I think I was like an hour ahead.
No, you weren't.
Wait a minute.
I was at the meeting and I didn't see you there. But...
No, because I sent a message to John Bennett, and I was like, and I was like, how do I want to do this thing? Yeah. And then you and I think, because I had done an experiment. I had the art show, and then we had the panel discussion, and I recorded the panel discussion, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
See, this is what I wanted to clarify, is that you probably thought of it and worked on it before I did.
We were co-creators.
We are co-creators. But you put so much planning into things, whereas I do not. And so you were...
We did a good job.
I
think
know.
You had your own kind of... Like, you had the questions.
Oh, I do.
You bring in the
to pitch
events
the show, I think you probably thought of it first, but you were so busy planning how to pitch it that I just walked in and pitched it first.
Doing a little intro is good. You know, one thing you can't... What I started doing was... Because I would record... And I don't know about you, T, but I would record interviews on site with people, and then I would then go back later and record a little intro and a little outro afterwards. So I would say, hey, I spoke with blah, blah, blah. We talked about, and I would kind of give them a little teaser. And then at the end, maybe I would mention who we're going to talk to next or whatever. And so like the interview kind of just jumped right into the interview. You didn't really need to have...
It's hard. You boys are difficult to Google. Like, you are easy to Google, and I've known you for years.
We're both hiding.
I see that. It's very effective.
If you Google Rob Hessler, there's a million hits. It's all the Savannah Morning News stuff I wrote.
So a lot of it seems to be archived. Like, there's one that says it's a photo of you, and it's from 2019. And then there's something. What is the pie? The oh my goodness, you worked with the nonprofit there for a minute, or arts advocacy.
Oh yeah.
Does that still exist?
Not really. I mean, I still own the nonprofit. I mean, look at this here.
Like, if I Google
Are
you,
you
it says
Googling
there's
yourself?
I just wanted to see.
We're in real time seeing what happens when he Googles.
Because I keep getting some guy out in Colorado when I Google myself.
Yeah, when you get Googled.
Yeah, they did
and he died.
all
I'm
the
so
Savannah
sorry.
Morning News
David,
stories.
you're dead.
I know.
Interesting.
It's all right. Been dead before. It's all right.
Well, and Rob, you're clearly in hiding. I mean, you used to be everywhere. I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love it for you.
Clearly in hiding.
I
What
am
a
in
great
hiding.
phrase.
That's exactly what I am.
That's true.
I mean, there's art from 2014, 2015. Love the illustration vibes, but there's no bios. There's nothing where I can pick pieces. So trying to
working.
come back. It is working. Trying to come back to 5 years ago. What do I remember from when I was here? And I need help on this podcast, how to pitch this show. You guys are the pros. I don't know if you've got projects.
I would say this. David and I, when we tried to get guests on the podcast, so first of all, at first it was hard because we didn't know anybody.
Well, the whole idea of going and talking about art was weird to a lot of people.
Why?
Well,
you're talking about something that nobody can see,
yes.
but you're talking about a visual art.
Yeah.
So it was how do you do that? How does that make any sense?
Yeah, how do
whatsoever?
we filter that into the radio thing instead of, just here's a pic. One of our, and I won't name names, but you know damn well who I'm talking about.
You're talking about
You know this story so well. Yeah, he was the worst one because it was well, so tell us about the work you've got here. Well,
He was nervous, but let me tell you something.
No, we don't. Please talk.
It's a great resource, though, and became a great resource.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
I love him, but...
Because he is very plugged into the Black art community, and
every
art community doesn't get any coverage. So... True. It was, I think we did a pretty decent job of getting
trying to
actual
be
black
balanced
artists
of everybody.
On
Different fields. I always thought, and as a matter of fact, that's why when you took it over, because my original idea was not just graphic arts. I wanted to do singers, poets, and all that too, because it's art. I just wanted to get into the creative community.
But they didn't want us to do that.
I know, Dave Lake.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I know you had to deal with that too a little bit.
Right, that was funny. I just sort of changed it. You gave the show to me and you said I could change it if I wanted. And I immediately was like, okay, I'm going to expand it to be musicians and authors too. And it was on the radio still.
Why not?
And that guy
really?
He did kick up a little fuss or something about it.
remember.
And eventually, after a little bit, I took it off the radio anyway so that it was fine. I could do whatever I wanted. But Yeah, you kind of.
So then you did the
didn't warn
roundhouse
me, I
kick.
guess.
I didn't know that he
slapped
was
him a
gonna,
few
but then when
times.
we first started, I remember after that happened with you. I remember
then
that.
you were like, oh, that's right, I pitched that originally too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. So I guess even years later, he still didn't like that idea because he wasn't happy that I was changing it.
All right, how did you end up on the radio show to begin with? How did this start? This is 8 years ago? This is 2017? This is fall of 2017?
God, I've forgotten.
It's been a long time.
Then, right?
Wow.
That sounds about right. So I know So I had, as David mentioned, he pitched to WRUU.
Well, you did too.
To do a show, and I didn't understand the pitching process, so I just asked John Bennett, who was the head of the Bike Walk Savannah at the time, and I knew he had helped to get the radio station started, so I asked him, like, hey, I want to do this thing, like, how do I make it happen? And so then he connected me with Dave, and then Dave suggested that you and I get together.
And I asked, are you cool? And he said, yeah. I said, okay.
And then we went and we got coffee, and we kind of talked about what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like what the show would be.
And the beauty of it was, I think, that really helped because you have, we had two different aspects. Mm-hmm. Like I'm coming up from the barn or something, whereas you're coming from the university.
That's right. We had, so David was, it was like high art and low art. I don't want to sound like too much, but it was like gallery art and perspective, and then the
folk art.
Freestyle.
Yeah, folk art.
I like this in the bio. David comes from the barn. That's such a funny
he was from a farm.
Sort of
He
did.
literally
Really
grew up on
funny.
a farm, like out
I
in...
sort of did.
It's a funny bio.
So
we actually
it was-
lived in the barn for a while, so yeah.
Yeah.
it still
Up in
does.
the hayloft, I bet.
Yeah, we did. Honestly.
So we had that back and forth, and I think we pushed each other in who we would bring in, because we would bring in people from both worlds, and like David knew more. But so that it ended up being great though, because I would ask questions of these people that I didn't understand, and he would do the same.
Well, and that also because some got along with you better than me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And we could, so somehow we could get the show done. This way we can at least plow through.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was plowing through.
And sometimes it was, but most of the time it was, once you sat down for like 15 minutes, you're real. And these things go so quickly.
Yeah.
That really surprised a lot of people. It surprised me. After a few shows, we got this down a little bit. And, we're done already? We got the hour done?
We had some hard cutoffs, so we had to do the mid-show
radio,
breaks.
exactly, yeah.
And we had to stop. There was somebody waiting literally to start their show. We had to have
They come into the studio and wait.
And we would have so we really had a hard cutoff. Now you won't have to deal with that.
But at the beginning, I was trying to think of how can we fill the time, So I'm like coming up with all sorts of, let's do the calendar of events, let's do this day in history, whatever.
Yeah.
And all
we
this.
tried some shenanigans, but none of that stuff really
But
worked
then it
out,
just,
though.
finally broke down to, we were comfortable, I think, with each other also. Yeah. And we were also comfortable with talking, this is personal, talking to people.
Sure.
All of a sudden, and it was especially surprising, like near the end.
When did you leave?
I forget. Was it before COVID?
2019.
It was before COVID, yes.
It was before COVID. It was 2019, I think.
Okay.
And near the end of 2019, I believe.
Right. I think you're right.
2 years into it, I think.
But, I had this guest on, and I hate to say this, but near the end, I wasn't even paying attention to who the guests were sometimes, I'd come in and find out who the guest was when I got there.
David was great, okay?
But, okay. A little too freestyled there. But we had this one guest in, and you'll remember his name, but I don't, who years before had a show at that place on Henry Street, 9 Henry.
Oh, I remember this because you told me the story. Because I knew him too. It was Henry Dean.
Henry Dean, that's right.
Right.
Because I spoke to him about this big project he had done.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, that was I listened to that one. That was a great show. Great episode.
That's the thing. I saw his work, and I before I met him, and what he had looked like a bunch of canvases he threw in the swamp for a few months and put them on the wall, which turned out to be that's what he did. That was the show.
So you weren't a fan?
I didn't understand. I was like, why am I here? Bye. So then I come to the studio one day when we're having the show. I'm talking to this guy, and about 10 or 15 minutes into the thing, I realize, oh no, this is the same guy that I hated. And then it turned out I liked him after we talked a while, and I realized it was sort of a joke. So I could appreciate that, you know?
And I think one of the things, too, is you don't know, there's the best guests weren't always necessarily the best artists or our favorite artists. Henry Dean is a great interview.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's incredibly smart. He's a professor, and he's done these massive projects with.
Well, and he was Scottish, so we were.
And he's got the great accent.
Got a great accent.
Yeah, got a great accent.
Sounds smart, even if it's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had, when I interviewed him, he had taken a leave of absence from his professordom at SCAD for a number of months, and he did this nationwide project that was about the eclipses that were happening. So it had been planned for months, took months to implement. So
actually years, I believe, he's worked on that.
Yeah, because there was a couple different eclipses. Like, they were a few years apart. I think the first one sort of spurred him into action, and then when the next one happened a few years later, he was ready. And by then he was like on a leave of absence, and it was nationwide. He had implements and pieces all over the country.
That went across the entire path of totality across the United States.
Cool.
So
easy interview.
Wow.
So a lot to talk about.
Concept art. Wow.
And the art was, I mean, interesting in and of itself. Some people might like it, some people might not. But I thought, again, you never really know. But that's one of the things that's cool about artists is a lot of times, and that's why it worked, is it doesn't really matter if you can see the thing, because a lot of artists are really interesting people and interesting thinkers. And so, like, you can have a conversation.
They have a different way of thinking.
Yes.
And they're all.
What were the best interviews? I mean, when it was conceptual like that? Who is your, like, jam?
The best.
I really
or the
liked,
worst, without names.
No. I already said the worst for me. So.
I mean, Jerome Meadows was probably my favorite interview we ever did.
Oh.
Just saw him the other day.
I interviewed Suzanne Jackson at her show before it opened at the Jepson, which was amazing. I mean, I got to, like, do a tour. She gave me, like, over an hour.
Yeah.
And it was me and her and Rachel Reese, and we, like, went through. That was incredible. I really liked when we had Michael Mahaffey on.
Oh, he was great.
A lot of times what was some of the really good ones. So Michael Mahaffey he's a full-time artist that makes a lot of his money through, like, Etsy and stuff like that, you know, and doing these, like, cafe shows. And
I was wearing one of his T-shirts for July 4th, the one that says "Fuck this Imperials bullshit."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought that was appropriate.
And so he, but when we brought him in, for example, like, yes, we talked about his art, but what was we thought an interesting thing to talk about was, well, how does he do it? Because a lot of people that were listening were other artists, and it's like, well, they might want to know, like, how can they make it? Like, how, because it's,
you had a themed show about business, and it was me and Michael Mahaffey and one other guy.
And Zay Hutchins.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we had, like, so we did
like
that.
The art of business or business of the art or something. You did.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing that, like, Rob and David did that I never got around to doing, was doing some themed shows where it'd be more people that you interviewed, which was a cool idea.
Love
it. You can bring that back.
Yeah, like, we had Jerome Meadows, Susan Laney.
Oh, wow,
and who was the third person? Because we had a third person.
Lord God, do you think I remember this? I don't know.
But we would bring in, like, by the time that we got a little further along, we started to have some level of reputation, like, where people knew about it, and we had interviewed a lot of people. And so, like, we could make that happen.
Well, they knew what it was about.
And that we weren't just, like, joking around. Like, we were actually...
Well...
You were very self-deprecating, but...
Half of us were not joking around.
You're self-deprecating, but you did a great job at it. And so we were able to... we were able to get those guests, you know, like, after we built it up a little bit. And because we had interviewed artists that showed at Laney. And so we built a great relationship with Susan Laney, you know. We had...
Well, like you said, it was people who, once they got the idea of the concept of the show, that they weren't as
It
because
was Aaron Westling was the third person.
Very good.
Aaron Westling.
Because a lot of
W
people, some of
Products.
them who didn't know what the thing was about, even after a year or two doing it, there were people who did not hear it and did not know what it was about, and we had to but we were comfortable enough by that time to get them to have the idea that we're just going to be talking about your work and anything else you'd like, but we want to talk about the work, and this is not the Chamber of Commerce, and you can talk about it as freely and open as you want, except for cussing.
Because radiant.
Because, yeah.
Did you have a list of favorite questions? What was your favorite or the worst thing?
I was literally about to bring that up. So David had this great idea.
I brought it.
Yeah. So David brought
I was
this.
going to ask you these questions.
I
we
have a
should
whole
do
list,
it.
but I'm so off.
Oh, we gotta do
We're
it.
so off script. I love it so much.
Should we just do it right now?
Just
do it.
I
Let's
just
do it.
found it.
So David brought this thing up, and he'll tell you. Explain. Do you have the whole thing that
I
you used to say at
actually
the
have it
beginning?
ready right now.
It's your
right
inside the
here.
actor studio.
That's
questions.
right. And these were just, are you familiar with the Actor Studio? They had, so it was just a list of things about, you'll see. Let's ask you.
Oh
About
no.
Yes, let's do it.
I
This
get
is great.
to edit this, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm comfortable.
Yeah, so it's okay with it. Okay.
Oh no.
And the first question is, who are you and how did you get in here?
I love it.
Do you have a set schedule to work?
See, I was gonna ask you guys the same. Okay. We're on the same wavelength.
All right.
No.
We're on
That's
the-
fair.
I had a do you work in the morning or at night type rapid fire.
I'm asking the questions
Oh, I'm
here.
sorry.
But it is a good question. I mean, because different people do different.
Yeah, some have
Things.
schedules and
Well,
some
think about
don't.
Stacy Eugene Albano. I mean, she works in the middle of the night because she's got 2 little boys. I have never
yeah.
seen dedication like that. I mean, does she still? I know she used to, and I don't know if she still does it. But back in the day, she would sleep while the kids were in school and stay up and work all night, like a total opposite from the rest
I've
of the
known
world.
people that did that.
Wild.
Why wouldn't
And
you
that's
just work while
dedication.
the kids were in school?
That's
Ask
I was
her
thinking
that.
the same
Stop.
thing.
Do not. I thought it was amazing.
That's very
there's gotta be a
admirable,
reason.
actually. I mean, that's dedication.
Well, I
That's-
mean, she's a maniac, though. I mean, her
Oh.
production is absurd, and she's full time. She works as an artist full time, and so she's got to have a lot of output, And obviously, she's really talented. I have 2 of her paintings in my house.
Nice.
So
I have one. I was given one as a wedding gift by Carmen.
nice.
oh, nice.
I have
Very
the
good.
first of her floral series in my living room.
Do you have much art from your years working at the Mansion Gallery?
All right.
I'm curious about this.
Not as much as you'd think because art is expensive and working in art means no money. So
Yeah.
there's a list of things that
There is the quandary.
food.
Did you get, when I worked at Chop Scout, we got a good discount. I don't know if you got a discount when you were working too.
Not good enough.
Okay.
But, I mean, I've acquired some stuff over the years, but there's a bunch of pieces that, got away.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff I'll just have nightmares about.
Well, the funny thing is, though, is we did get exposed to some of these artists before their stuff got more expensive.
Yeah,
I
that's
bought a Jose Ray floral piece before he did any of the we had a little show at Henny Penny.
Yeah.
Really?
And he had
Yeah.
he was just trying out some new stuff, and he tried it out, and I bought one for $85.
No.
And it's now, I mean, those, you had them
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the mansion. I mean,
Yep.
those were thousands of dollars.
Well, and I
for those
carried
things.
him years later. I mean, some of those paintings, he's putting the wood board together himself. I mean, some of them weighed more than I do. The construction on that is just wild. I mean, and he deserves every penny. But
Yeah.
he was our last show at the mansion before COVID. We had
Oh,
that
is that-
whole
that's
ballroom.
right.
You were probably
Oh,
there.
that's
I mean,
right.
it was wild.
Yeah.
And we sold tons of stuff. And then, the next week, we showed up trying to get stuff out in the mail, and the whole world closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer Moss had a show at the gallery over at the Cultural Arts Center at the same time. It had opened, the opening. We were there at the opening, and there was people at the opening, and everybody was talking about COVID.
Yeah.
Because it was coming,
Yeah.
and then
I
a
had a
week
show-
or 2 later.
Yeah, I had a show out at Starling Cafe, which sadly now is closed. Because I remember you interviewed me out there, and that got finished right before COVID started. It's really funny. How many
Yeah,
of us,
Becca
that
Cook
we
and
can
I
remember.
had we were supposed to do something at the Cultural Arts Center that April, Yeah, it was supposed to be April.
Yeah.
We had a performance art thing. We had like a dozen actors. It was a rotating 4-part stage. We had built the first part and had this like thing, and then it was like it shut down, and then it was like kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and then we were gonna move on.
Because I remember the first time I ever met you, I went to the Jepson, and you were speaking. You were being interviewed by, I don't know if it was Aaron or someone else, but I sat in like the auditorium of the Jepson and was like, who's that guy down there? So when I first met you, I was like, who's this huge artist who's being interviewed at the Jepson? And then I remember you.
Invisible.
By choice.
Can you bring that show back that you were gonna do with Becca Kate?
I would love to.
She was a cool interview. She was awesome.
She lives outside of Asheville now, I
She
think.
moved, yeah. But she was cool.
I love how off the rails this goes so quickly.
You know, when I first
Is
met
this
you,
all
I
there
was
was
like,
so
many-
you were just this really big deal artist because I met you when you were speaking
I
at the
was a big
Jepson.
deal at that time. That was when I was making the most money I ever did, and I got glaucoma.
Oh,
So I got glaucoma in my left eye, and I can't do the
God.
drawings. Like I have a headache behind my left eye right now. I can feel it. Like it's just that pressure on my eye.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
if I sit down and draw 15 minutes, I'll have like raging
I
headache.
did not know.
Just from
I'm
focusing
sorry,
so
Rob.
hard.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
that's
forced
why.
retirement.
Does it
That
hurt
is so
to-
sad.
Well, that's
type
why I
it
got
with
so
straight?
dove so deeply into the writing, because I was like, I could do the writing.
Yeah. But does it
Yeah.
hurt to look at a screen and type and all that?
Well, I turn the like everything down,
Wow.
stuff like that. So, and it's
didn't
just
know
different.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's.
That was
I mean-
the pivot? You pivoted from doing your own work to the journalism component. I mean, there's
Yeah,
like the
well,
radio
so-
and the newspapers at the same time?
I was doing the newspaper for a little bit simultaneously, because, well, I don't know if you know. Well, I mean,
That's
this
a
is
great
off topic,
venue.
but yeah. So the guy who was and I've told the story before, but the guy who was the editor for the Savannah morning, the Do Savannah, which doesn't exist anymore, which I
Right.
think.
No.
But he was editor for Do. Really nice guy, actually. He works for the city now, I think. I can't remember his name, but so the Savannah Morning News was writing no art, like visual arts coverage, right?
Did Connect still exist at this time?
Yes, Connect still existed. So I blasted him on social media. And I was like, this is, because David and I were doing the radio show, and I know what it was. So it was a first Friday that was coming up, and on that first Friday, David and I had interviewed like almost everybody. Like it just so happened, like there was all these openings, and we had interviewed like all the people who were having show openings. Just because at that time we were doing a lot of field notes and like in studio stuff, and we had done all this stuff, and it was a great. We had done a really good job actually. And during that entire month, the Savannah Morning News had covered none of them. And then it was the first Friday, and they covered nothing about the first Friday opening. And I was like, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. We're doing this for free.
Yeah.
And we covered all this. This is the best first Friday I've seen since I've lived here, and you've written nothing. The Savannah Morning News is garbage. So
you worked for them.
So then the guy, so the editor, to his credit, reached out to me. He's like, you're right, we're not doing enough. And then he said, can we put the podcast on the Savannah Morning News website? And I was like, yeah, but how about I write a little something and then you pay me? Because I just wanted to make some money.
Yeah.
I really had nothing to do with wanting to be a
It
writer.
was all a clever ploy.
But then I actually fell in love with it. And then I was doing that every week with our show.
Sure.
And then the glaucoma kicked in, and then I was like, I just took on more writing jobs and really focused on that. It's got the Sunday column and all that, and then I was unceremoniously dumped.
Well, you weren't the only one.
August of last year.
Not just you. I
The
mean,
entire freelance.
right. They got rid of the whole.
remember
They cut
that.
all the freelancers.
That was deplorable. That was.
They basically fired 8 people.
Yeah.
Was it just financial? That was the whole thing? Or?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Well, they want clicks and Doritos ads and freaking terrible crap. It's like it's not content. It's clicks.
Like
So
the sort of editorialized advertising, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Oh my god, yes.
So now it's back to having no arts coverage at all, basically.
I mean, Beth
Now that
writes
you're on-
something
Okay.
sometimes.
Yeah, where do we go now? No connect. So I'm new.
But now, the field is open.
It's a great time for you to do the show. It really is, because Rachel Flora left Savannah.
Yeah, she sold out.
So there's no...
She sold her portion, or,
Sold out. That's a weird way to put it.
We're friends. I did not mean that. Sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, so she left. And
So she's a sellout.
She also hates when you call her Rach. So...
Rach?
Yeah, double ding.
You were editing all that.
Rachel and I love Rachel. We had it during the entire time that we had her on the show a couple times. We had her on the radio show a couple of times.
Well, she was the big thing at Connect for years, and then she moved it to the Savannah, and I mean,
and then
Beth is the only one left.
Then the Savannah, or then the Connect closed down, and then the Savannah was there, and then she left Savannah, and so it is like, it's.
So there we go. So there we are.
The entire media responsibility is now on your shoulders.
That's right.
We didn't even have a calendar. We didn't have an arts calendar at all. I mean, it existed pre-COVID, but after, I don't know who was running it. Now there's some Instagram page that has tried to pick up that torch, and I don't know who runs it.
The Art 912?
Maybe.
No, it's the First Fridays in Starland Instagram page, maybe. Mm-mm. There's some people there's a person at Dreamhouse who does the First Fridays in Starland social media, and she has kept something going.
Okay. So I'm just not on the end.
Yeah, and then there's the people from the Slab, which is like a predominantly LGBTQ group, and they have some calendar stuff too. They publish a zine, which is really pretty good. Cool. They do a good job on it, and it's just them, and they're very independent, but they do music shows also at their place, which they call the Slab. It's like literally a concrete slab.
How long has this been going? This is new, relatively.
It's been going on for about 2 years. I wrote about it.
Where have you been?
I've been in Charleston. So I was here 2018 to 2020. I was at the mansion with Carmen.
Right.
And then COVID closures, we all just did our best. So I was here for a couple months, but everything was closed. And then I took a job as the art gallery director for the counterpart, the branch in Charleston. Mm-hmm. So I was there for just about 4 years. I loved the mansion so much. It was the tiniest, little, most beautiful, stress-free thing. Mm-hmm. And what I walked into in Charleston was less fun. I loved my job and I loved that gallery, but it had to be 4 times bigger square footage wise from the mansion, and we must have done $750,000 in sales a year.
Wow.
And for the first while post-COVID, it was just me.
Wow.
I mean, for the most part, right? I had part-time-ish help.
But you're working every day.
Yeah, I mean,
morning till night.
I did a stretch of 29 days straight without a day off at one point. All I did was eat takeout food. I gained 40 pounds. It was wild. It was so much fun, but it was so bad for my body. And so
that's dedication.
It was so much fun. So I still worked.
I remember you didn't get to see Charleston at all. You were just always at work.
Pretty much. Yeah. My heart is not with Charleston. It's great to vacation, but was that ever home? No. And my husband's been in and out of Savannah for almost a decade now. So, I mean, we always came back and you showed with me in Charleston.
Yeah,
Jose Ray did
and
too.
I showed together there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was funny. He and I, so for that show, we did these 2 paintings together. I don't know. We did some tandem painting where each of us had a piece. Yeah, some live painting, and then we swapped, and we would just swap back and forth, and we completed these 2 paintings together.
Those are the only things that sold.
Both of those 2 paintings sold really quickly.
Wet from the table.
Wow. Yeah, one sold to a manager at the hotel who was walking through and bought it that day, and then the other one I brought to my studio in City Market, and really soon after, somebody
That's
walked
pretty
through and bought
rare that 2 artists can do that.
I know, and then I reached out to Jose Ray and was like, dude, we obviously need to do more paintings together. And he was like, I'm very, very busy, but we'll do that again. And it's never happened.
Okay.
Jose does that a lot, though. It's the shuffle. He calls it something like the art shuffle. Art shuffle. It's a thing he's been doing for years, and he put some of that together. He was doing that for a little while, sort of orchestrating that at Troupial, and he would get 4 artists, and they would switch. between
Cool, yeah.
the shuffle.
Like Mad Libs, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to talk him into... I obviously don't know what I'm doing, right? So, like, you guys are my practice round to see how panicked I get. I only have minor stress sweats going. They can't smell me through the recording.
Good.
It's great. I think I'm gonna pitch pretty
It's
hard.
funny that you're hooked up to that machine too while we're doing this. So.
Beep,
really
beep.
weird.
I mean, I shouldn't have worn white.
Yeah.
They can't see me. I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
pitch
what's
to
up with
Jose.
the hat?
I wish I looked good in hats. Does your hat say goblin? What are you?
It does say goblin.
All right. I love it. I'm gonna try to pitch to Jose pretty
I'm
hard.
surprised you can see it.
Yeah.
It's camouflage.
I didn't even know you were wearing a hat.
It's working.
Wow. That's good.
I want Jose
So
to be
he might be your first.
Well, not just that. So, okay, I also don't know how to interview musicians at all. Like, I don't know anything.
Interview what?
Musicians.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to talk either.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm
I mean,
trying.
start with art. That's a great place to start. That's
Okay.
what the show was.
What was
Well,
your
that's
formula?
beginning.
What did you have a formula? Like, how do you balance the established artist versus the up and comers?
Well, that's
how
the
do you
thing.
get $80 prints from Jose?
There are
It
different.
wasn't a print, it was an original.
That is the part that I can't wrap my head around, so I'm not going to say that
They
out
were all
loud.
sold cheap. I don't know.
But as long as you know who the guest is before you go on, that helps a little bit. But then you sort of gear that towards what their level is, and not to bother them with, or it just didn't. I hate to say it, but a lot of it was just instinct.
We just chose artists we liked. We didn't
Yeah,
really
and
try.
we wanted to
like,
know who they were and what they did and how they did it. And
we had a philosophy, and we talked about this in the very first meeting that we had, that we were gonna potentially have on people who were having like shows at museums and stuff like that. But also, if we walked into a coffee shop and it was somebody having their first show and we just loved it, we didn't care. We were just following what we liked, because to be honest with you, it's a lot easier to talk to people about work that you like than it is to just pretend that you're into something, you know?
Please, yes.
And it'll come through. It'll come through, I think. If you don't like it or you're not into it,
And
there's
then
no point in pretending.
if you start asking about the creative development, it doesn't matter if it's musicians or artists or dancing or whatever, but just where is your mind?
Like, you
And
guys
where
did the
did that come
Maxines.
from?
The two of you did
And
the Maxines.
how-
That was a really good
Yeah, but
episode.
that's cool too.
I love them.
And that was, again, that was the musicians. But it didn't matter that they were musicians. It was like, just...
I didn't even hear them until like less than an hour before the show. I finally got to hear their music.
Yeah.
Wow, that
And-
far in advance?
Yeah, right. But I was immediately
You were prepared an entire hour before we said
Almost
You
an
didn't listen to
hour.
it on your phone on the drive over?
No, with them, sitting in the room. I'm like, hey, let me listen to you. What do you guys sound like? And I'm looking at them while I'm listening. And like, hey, you guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I'm glad that you liked that as an interview, because also technically that's, it's the two of us interviewing and speaking to 4 people. So that could have been a crazy mishmash. So
You
I'm
know
glad
what was stupid
came up
about
with
that
something.
one?
That we
And
did it outside on
I hate
MLK.
to say it. That was not one of the best
Well, I feel like it was
because of that.
conceptual. It went along with
I
their
understand.
rock and roll vibe, but we were doing it outside on MLK, and so there were like trucks rumbling by.
Yeah.
That's
that-
the trick. That's
that
why you're
added-
getting away with doing it on your phone, because you're always in somewhere quiet. I mean, if
Right.
you're trying to do it in
Yeah.
a coffee shop, you do need the real equipment.
Especially an outside coffee shop next to the street.
Oh.
And that was.
Remember
but
the
you're
time-
right.
remember
That
the
was our
time there was-
loudest.
But you're at
loudest
it.
show.
You're right. That added to
But
it.
conceptually, it was perfect for them.
So.
Remember when you were interviewing that tattoo artist and there was a car accident?
What?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, while
Funny?
I'm doing the interview, well,
We
nobody
did a
was funny.
tattoo episode, so we had a couple of
Black
different-
Orchid tattoo. I think.
Yeah,
it
and
was.
I interviewed Jimmy Butcher, and you interviewed Camden Moore.
Very good.
Ken
Thank you.
Moore.
I'm so glad you know names.
And so we paired them up. We did those two.
We
so
did
he
them
did his, and I
separately.
did
Yeah,
mine.
I
We
went
put them
to the-
together
yeah.
in one. And there was a car accident. In
Yeah,
the
while
middle
we're
of-
doing the interview, right outside the window,
and you could hear it in the
and
interview.
we had to go out and see what was going on and everything. But everybody was okay. It was just, well, that's life. That's part of it.
What editing's for?
Let's throw it in, a little bit. We didn't have to hear all the screams and anguish, but
Good thing that wasn't a live
Once we started getting going, people would reach out to us, so that did help.
True.
Because, we started getting
Media
Like,
requests.
Yeah, and I would sign up for mailing lists at like every gallery, so
Hey,
people
I'm
would send
available.
stuff over, and people
In that
would,
email box I gave you the login to, you're going to be getting press releases from everyone.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and honestly, connecting with like folks at like Art Southeast or whatever, I mean, you'll never run out of subjects to talk with.
I was hoping you had an algorithm like in your brain, like I do one painter, one photographer, one like musician.
I would very consciously not interview more than 2 or 3 in a row of like the same gender, and I would not do more than 2 or 3 white people in a row. I was very overtly trying to reach out
Or
to
male
different
or
races.
female.
Love it.
Yeah,
Right.
Jen.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
we try to do the same.
Like I would look at the Soy Como Soy like Instagram group, and I would go through and pick out people and reach out to people through that, or look at like the FAAA group and reach out to artists through that. And I was like or I would overtly try to reach out to like LGBTQ
Make it a variety.
artists, but I was really
Work to make it
overly
a variety.
not being like I'm interviewing just all white people in a row. So
Well,
Yeah.
all SCAD in a
Well,
town like
that's
this.
the thing
Yeah.
too.
I mean, everybody's gonna be. You're gonna be a plug for SCAD at some point.
I
huh?
would say we
No, we
interviewed
tried to
few
avoid
SCAD people. I would say we interviewed
We really
more
did try
people.
to avoid getting into SCAD too much.
All right, so you had rules. I want to learn the rules.
Not
Teach me your
wasn't
rules.
really. It was just a
It was-
general.
like Tamara said, like we had
Nothing
some
was
conscious
set.
guidelines. Like we definitely wanted to be inclusive. Like so we would look at FAAA and Soy Como Soy and these groups that we knew that were being representative, that we could like make sure that it wasn't just like white dude.
Yeah, SCAD radio.
SCAD
Yeah.
or and honestly, like did you go to SCAD?
I did not.
Okay, so then you're not.
So
in
we're
SCAD.
free to speak? Yeah. Okay,
The SCAD is not an open.
Tamara.
Was not an
I
open
know.
place for us. It wasn't. We weren't necessarily invited to SCAD. They weren't clamoring to be on the radio show.
No,
we
they
had
didn't.
to like.
They
There were a
didn't.
few people that we met and we ended up.
But you know what? That didn't matter. The impetus was we found people that we liked in their work, and that was the impetus. We want to emphasize these people and their work.
Yeah.
And if it's
And
only
then-
stuff you like, you don't have to fight it. You don't
And
have
then
to
just
like
keep
pull
it.
teeth.
Well, and to make it interesting, even sometimes that we didn't like, just to make it, let's make
Or
it
like a
interesting.
genre where we didn't have. Like I remember we had the Potters in those 2 guys.
Right.
Like we didn't know really much about pottery, so we
Right.
were thinking like, well, we should have somebody like a potter on, and like so we had like literally 2 potters came in. We reached out. I reached out to the folks who were doing the pottery.
They wouldn't bring the wheel.
No,
That's too heavy, I'd imagine.
they were doing pottery at like it wasn't SCAD. It was one of the other.
that Savannah Clay spot.
No, it was
No.
a college. It was a college. They were college professors.
Armstrong?
Maybe it was at Armstrong, and these 2 guys came in. They talked about pottery, about how they do stuff, and
Cool.
we kind of got into this whole conversation. And so that in that case, it wasn't about the work; it was about the genre, and we wanted to talk about it.
Heart and mind.
I think that's so important. All 3 of you are artists. I will be the only one that is not. Like a
You're not an
working-
artist?
I'm not.
I'm done.
I mean, I'm a gallerist, right? So, I mean, I have an art history degree. I have a museum studies.
No, as long as you appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was like, when I would reach out to, if I talked to a ceramicist or like a printmaker or something that was really, or a photographer, something that was really foreign. I feel like most people, even if you're not an artist, can wrap their head around like using a pencil or using a brush and some paint, but something else that people don't necessarily get to even dabble in and don't know about. It was really interesting to talk to like printmakers and ceramicists because there's so much technically about it, so many terms that you can kind of get into to teach people. It's a little bit like
Then you
art
get into the
education.
engineering section
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
I want
So
people to teach me something. If I don't have practical
that's
applications,
the best impetus.
I mean, this is not like the cleanest way to phrase it, but I want everybody to teach me something, and I want everybody to sell me something.
I
Because,
think that's a great.
Yeah.
That's a
Place
It's
great
a cool
start
way to
from.
go into it.
I mean,
explain. But that's teaching. So yeah.
yeah. And, I mean, artists, sometimes people get so, like,
We're
you
gonna
don't
go
want
back
to
to
share the secrets,
Yeah.
you know?
You
And,
could rename the show as Teach Art to Katie.
that. That's good. I like that.
I like that too. You know, the thing is that we did interview non-artists. We interviewed gallery people a lot.
Yeah.
Susan Laney was always a resource. We had Carmen on mostly for her painting, though. I mean, honestly, it was about her painting. But
Carmen was fun.
Carmen was a great.
Carmen
was
is
a great
always
interview.
fun.
I talked to Erin Dunn once about her work at the Jepson. That was cool.
Yeah, Erin's a good interview. She's very smart, and a lot of I would say that the Telfair people are very generous in that they're all nerds.
Yeah.
Like they're just nerds, like art nerds. And they really are generous.
You've got to be, I think, to work in that
It'd be
environment.
cool to reach out to one of the preparators at the Jepson, like the people who hang and install the art. I
Yeah,
think that
for
would
sure.
be really fun too.
I think that would be cool.
That is fun. Have them teach me something.
Because they have to
maybe
be
I
like
don't know.
acrobats. They have to be really problem solving. They have to go up on these crazy ladders and lifts and things. I think that'd be cool.
And I think they're mostly artists too.
Yes.
You know, they're getting around.
Or at
the
least they
art.
appreciate it because they've been around it so much.
They're trying hard not to drop it at least. So
Well,
Yeah.
it's carpentry people a lot, right? Usually there's carpentry
I know at least one of
backgrounds.
them is an artist as well.
I know for sure too. There was
Yeah.
one guy I don't remember his name, but
There's the engineering side and the creative side, and sometimes they work together, but sometimes they don't. So, but the engineering is creative too. It's just a different mindset. I mean,
you know, Dr. Robin Williams. He did some stuff at the Jepson Center, right? You could have him come on the show and you wouldn't even have to say a word. Because he would just talk about, but he knows architecture in Savannah. Like, you could,
Why is this
he
funny?
would be able to.
do you know?
Well, because his name is Robin Williams and I'm a 12-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know who he
Yeah,
is. You
yeah,
know
yeah, yes,
him,
of
right?
course. Yes, of course.
Okay.
You were there when he.
Yes, a long time ago. Yes, we've met very briefly. Delightful.
He did that
I mean no
architecture show
disrespect.
that I think both of us were in that.
That was a great show.
Which-
It was a group show at the mansion.
And it was Savannah-based architecture.
Oh, that's
We both
right.
It was
did pieces
cool.
for that. That
Oh,
was a good
that's
show.
right. I still have that piece.
And then
nobody bought it.
talked.
Aw,
I still
Debbie
have
Downer.
mine too, David. We should just trade.
Yeah,
Cute.
that's fine. Yeah, sure.
You should
You know, I
try.
have the painting of the refugees that you gave me in my
One of my favorites.
I love that piece. That little.
The painting for let me just say and cut this out later, but the painting for the mansion show was, I did a picture, I think Carmen got the joke, but she didn't really want to use it. It was a picture of the Telfair Museum.
Okay.
The statues in front, except in front of the Telfair is the sip-and ride with some bridezillas.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I
it's a
remember
classic. You saw it?
I was there.
It's
I
a
was there.
classical painting, except we've got the sip and ride in the front of it. And I did that sort of as a joke. I just thought.
I really thought it would sell.
What's the name of that? It's
I've
not
still
called
got it.
Sip and Ride. What is it called?
I
It's-
forget what.
We
it
all
is.
know what he's talking about.
Drink
yeah,
and
but what is? I mean, but maybe the listening audience.
drink
doesn't.
and plunder. I don't know.
Drink and
Bike and booze.
pedal.
Pedal to the metal. I don't know.
Pedal boot, pedal boat, pedal boost.
What are those things called?
The Bridezilla Express.
Yeah, they're like the
Because
worst things ever.
A lot of them, man.
Slow ride.
Yes.
Slow ride.
When I had the gallery at the City Market, I'd hear them go by the window like 5 times a day, and they were always
And
playing
woo.
the same song. Oh God. Like, okay, that's at least they're having fun. Okay, fine.
Total pivot.
Let me.
Let's pivot.
What has changed since you started the podcast in 2017 in the arts community? What have you seen? What through your years? What
I was hoping you would answer that.
Well, I can answer. I have an answer, and that's. I mean, to me, it's Art Southeast. I think that's.
Oh, they've got it.
So
Huge.
there is a legitimate arts nonprofit in Savannah that is doing great things, and that just did not exist before. They also built the Cultural Arts Center. I think that galleries come and go, and they have, but I think that Art Southeast feels
They do more of a community of their own instead of a gallery.
Mhm.
They've
And
got much more
local.
broader and
it's
expansive.
not SCAD.
Right.
You know, it's
Thank
like
God.
it's its own thing. It's its own separate entity.
Nothing against SCAD. It's just that, damn, there's so much more available.
They're great. I always recommend to new artists coming up who are looking to get into doing craft shows. I always recommend that they start with the Friday night craft shows that that Sulphur Studio or Art Southeast does, because it's like a very easy, low barrier for entry. They're very economically priced. You can rent a tent from them. Like it's a good way for new artists to get started doing street fairs.
Get your feet wet. Get your brush wet.
And you know there's going to be they're a magnet for the entire art community. So
I've sold in those shows a few times, and I always am so heartened. There'll be like active SCAD students, undergrads who come through, and they'll buy little small pieces of art, which I think is amazing for someone who's like 18 to 21 who does could be spending their money on anything. To come through and like support another artist is really sweet. So I want to shout that out. They get great attendees.
Very good.
Do you think that's the future? You think all your horses on that wagon, all your eggs in that basket, Art Southeast, for the next couple of years?
Well, right now, they seem to be the ones who have developed so well. And if someone else wants to, that's fine. But right now, they're like, from what I've seen, one of the best.
They're the guys, if it's not SCAD.
I mean, I hate to say names about this, but the stables, I had high hopes for the stables to really take over. Not knowing the people.
That's too far outside of town, right?
Yeah. I looked at pre-COVID, they were having lots of shows, and then I haven't heard of them coming back since.
Right.
They exist. I looked at going out and taking a tour.
Yeah.
I know. I've been out there, but and I see them. They're open. I have to go out to the trolley barn all the time, so I see them. But for the one who took the lead and the one who's done the most so far is Art Southeast, I'm hoping that there's more.
What's the deal with the one on Broad Street that's coming up? Because that's kind of a... Help me.
Broad Street.
By Baby's General
Midtown
Store.
Art House.
There you go.
That's like a block or two away.
Is it open now?
Yeah, I went to. They had an opening reception this past Friday, and they have a few different. They have like maybe 3 rooms in there that you can rent out as a studio, and then they have kind of a larger room at the back that's going to be their exhibition room. It's not this like bright white, clean like white box gallery space. It's more. It is an actual home, so it's got more of a wood panel home.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really have a lot of high hopes for the Savannah art scene right now. I will say that I think Art Southeast is great, and I think that the Telfair is great. I mean, SCAD Museum does great stuff too. But the problem is that there are so many students in here now. SCAD has expanded so much, and it is much more economically viable for a gallery to open up and rent gallery space to rent for people to, and then they don't have
pay to play.
Yes, a pay to play sort of situation. I think of Art Strings Gallery.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
And I went there. I mean, first of all, that is a beautiful space,
yeah.
And they put a lot of money into it. You can tell. And I went there, and they did their first group show, and it had a lot of local artists in it. And do you hear about them anymore at all? Because it's all pay to play rental spaces. All these students need to have
year-end place to have your student show.
Yes, yeah. And that's a lot of the spaces in Savannah are like that. I mean, and then you think about like even Location Gallery, for example. Now you had sort of a 5-year break between being here in Savannah. You might have gone to Location Gallery when it was off of it was off Whitaker.
It was on Whitaker, yeah.
And man, that had a vibe. If
you
go to the new space, the new space is a terrible gallery. And it's not the artists, and it's not Peter. It's just not a good place to look at art.
The real estate place?
Yeah, the newer one, the second location. Location
Gallery. I know what you mean. Okay.
It's a terrible place to look at art, and that's what our second best gallery, Tulaney.
The thing that I think is really interesting is, like, lately so different, small spaces maybe are popping up in Starland, which is awesome. But in the downtown area, it's wild just how many have closed in the last couple of years and haven't been replaced. Like, new ones haven't come up.
Tiffany Taylor.
Tiffany Taylor's, Kobo, that's Savannah
gone.
Arts Association. Or 3 longtime
Roots
galleries.
Yep.
Roots Up, that all closed and new ones haven't opened.
Roots Up was because she got sick. I love her so much. She's so sweet. She doesn't even live here anymore.
Well, no, Roots Up closed because of COVID. She didn't have enough money.
Leslie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her.
Leslie's the best. Yeah, she left like a couple of years now, right?
She's in Asheville, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank on that other great gallery that's off of Montgomery Street? There's a little space there.
Oh, Clio?
Clio, the gallery. That's a good space. That's a great space, but it's very small.
They had to pivot, so that one's tiny. Love Jeanette. Great.
Uh-huh.
And she just had a show at the Thompson when Art Southeast did their magazine launch that was really sweet. But I think that pivoted from a gallery space to a nonprofit because it was struggling, right? So now most of their artists are not local. She's bringing people in and doing like minor shows, but it's another like a subscription, for lack of a better word, where you make like an annual donation to be like in their club and keep them afloat. And I'd happily do that. I looked at their space next door to them, and I shopped there pretty hard to open something on my own. And Sam from Cedar House was lovely and gave me the whole tour, and they've got like such a vibe. She's working with somebody that is putting together that old gas station off of MLK across the street, and there's 3 separate spots going in there, and they were deep in construction. And it's chopped up into a couple gallery spaces. I think the one is rented to a ceramicist, and one might be to a jewelry designer. But I had really wanted the like 400 square foot box next to Clio, and could not make that happen.
Well, that used to be a gallery. That was
a million years ago, yeah.
Yeah, that not even. It was before Clio. That space was bigger, and it included. It was by what's her name? Stephanie.
She's gone
Sunshine
too.
Forbes. Stephanie Forbes.
She's in like Athens or Atlanta.
Maybe Athens. She's got connections, family connections in Athens, and she was helping to direct art shows at their, like there's a abuse survivors kind of gallery space there, and so she was working on that as well. But she had the space where Clio is, plus like that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then when Clio took over, they didn't take that other like chunk of it, and now it's just that really little tiny space. But yeah, again, that's another gallery that left, and like it really wasn't fully replaced, and so I don't have a lot of great hopes for the Savannah art scene, but I think that's not necessarily about Savannah. I think it's as much about like what art is now. I mean, I don't know. Do you know artists that are really?
I guess just getting into the difficulty of like commercial real estate and the economy in general and just everything in general.
Yeah.
And you can't really parse it out. Everything is struggling.
And plus, I think a lot of artists are making their living via like that are. I mean, not these big time blue chip artists, but like normal working artists are making a lot of their money doing like online sales.
Or selling in the park on Saturday.
Or selling. Oh my God, the park is outrageously crowded now.
So for you, I mean, you're at Gallery 209.
Yeah.
And then you've got a studio in City Market.
Yes.
I mean, without numbers, like percentages. What's your like Gallery 209 sales versus your like City Market in-person sales versus like online?
I guess.
Well, and I'll also just throw in one more thing, and that's the markets, because I know you do the markets.
I barely do any market stall because I have that studio at City Markets, and I don't have to like schlep my stuff around and pop up a tent and do all that.
I love that gallery you've got at City Market.
Thank you.
That.
Yeah.
That was always one of my faves.
Well, the hard thing I would say for the last 2 months, suddenly in all of my venues that I'm in, things have really, really tanked sales-wise, so that's hard. So I can speak about what's generally been happening or what's happening just in the last 2 months since, I guess, politics and the entire financial system is revved up a notch and gone up into the 11 of craziness.
Yeah.
Because in the past 2 months, all my sales everywhere have really, really tanked, which is weird. But in
it's
general,
not just you.
Yeah.
To everybody.
No, I know. But in general, I would say like the majority of my sales are Gallery 209, and then second place would be in my studio at City Market, and then I'm in a variety of other shops and things downtown. I do a lot of like wholesaling and consignment, and then a tiny amount is online sales.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing about your gallery at City Market, again, is accessibility.
Yeah.
There's much better access at 209, whereas City Market, it's hard to get people to come upstairs.
Right. Gallery 209 is open 7 days a week, and each of us only works 2 or 3 shifts a month, so you get so much bang for your buck. You yourself are not working that much, but the place is open 10 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I mean, you've got to hang out the window and yell at people to get them to come upstairs sometimes.
Yeah, you've noticed me doing that.
Yeah.
Just get a flag.
Everybody's talking. Yeah. We've all noticed. Throwing the flags out there.
I mean, that, if you're looking for the topic, though, I would say the city markets were very interesting. That whole, what's happening over there and what, because it is still this, like, bastion of local artists.
Yeah.
I mean, it still exists, and it's like, I feel like hoity-toity.
Well, and they tried to stop that a couple of years ago, as you know, and they were going to make B&Bs up in the South Building.
Yeah, I know.
And then somehow it got known publicly, and they had to stop that because they were getting bad press because of it.
I remember that too.
But that's one reason Brian...
Yeah, they did get some bad press from
Yeah,
that.
thank you very much, by the way, yes.
Because I talked to Lisa Rosenmeyer, and I ended up doing a piece about
As
her.
you know.
And she was she was
Well,
Brian
that's one
McGregor's
of the
next door
reasons,
neighbor.
yeah, that's one of the reasons Brian left and had to go over to the next building.
Yeah, he went to the South Building, which is...
And
like
that's one of the reasons why Lisa finally gave in to her husband to move to Greece. Was because she was getting so much flack, and she was like, this just isn't worth it anymore. I'd rather...
Yeah. Oh, it was...
I'm sure she's living an idyllic life in
It's so
Greece
beautiful
now,
where she
so
lives.
it's good for her. It's amazing for her.
Is there change on what you're selling based on location? Do you think it's like just you, or do you think it's all of Savannah?
No, I think it's all of like downtown retail. I think
it's all
when you look
the
outside,
states.
there's not many tourists, and who is here is just going to eat or whatever. Like, but I think retail in general is people are having a hard time
Oh, yeah.
the last couple months.
You're not having like a big surgence in like tea towels and like greeting cards that'll pay the rent, the mortgage?
You never know what's going to
Not at the
sell,
moment.
for one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And these are tough times for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping that maybe the smaller sales would make up for the lack of bigger sales. Maybe people just want to
I'm
like
sure.
spend a
I mean,
couple
I
bucks.
generally live on tons and tons of small sales, so I'm not even having that right now.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I'm sure you're hoping it'll improve too. So there you go.
We're a city that was supposed to be this big art city, and we're constantly rated one of the best places in the country to come visit. I think we just came out as 4 or 5 in Travel and Leisure this year.
Really?
Yeah, again, we always are in the top 10.
Yeah.
And everybody says they come for the arts and for like eating and drinking, and then we've lost
Yeah.
all of
Good.
these. I mean, what do you do?
It's amazing how many longtime locals I talk to who aren't aware that like City Market has artists and art studios.
What?
True.
No, it's definitely
It's
people
really
because
funny.
I was about to say that it's a lot of like the sort of, well, we'll say high art people look down a little bit on
Right, for sure.
on City Market and what's going on there, but I kind of feel like it's way more important than people realize, you know, and people give it credit for. I mean,
Well, we're
is it
working.
what kind
We're
of
like working artists. We're trying to make our living off selling stuff. So maybe.
yeah, I mean, what kind of, I mean, like it's
How can you explain to people that this is unique, handmade from your heart items? This is not something you're going to get at Walmart. You know? And
problem is people want the thing from Walmart.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
They have been
It's
trained
not from Walmart,
to. That's
and
they have
want
been
Walmart.
trained to go to Walmart instead of going and exploring and finding something of value, something of real earthy, heartfelt value. And
So
that's,
this is an interesting thing, and I wonder if you've experienced this at all, either of you. But I was at we went up to Helen, Georgia. And they have like a few of those shops that are like consignment artist shops, and they have like, you know, booths around or whatever.
yeah.
And I noticed in one of the booths, there was some stuff like sitting around there to buy, and I definitely knew it came from Temu. And but it looked like, you know, pseudo handcrafty. You know what I mean? Like, but it was like, this is Temu stuff. And I was thinking, and I noticed that too, like when I went to the Ren Fair last year, there were like all kinds of this like kind of cheapy, like 3D printed stuff. And it's like I think that almost average shopper, like person, like non-artist who's looking to buy something, they don't really understand that they can't grasp the difference.
Right.
You know? So like, it's like the AI version of like handcraft.
You know, I used to make fun of, there was this one fella who used to do t-shirts, and then he would take the same screen print canvas thing and print them on canvases. And the canvas ones sold for 10 times as much, but it was the same print as he was doing on the t-shirt.
Right.
And I used to get on his case about that because this is not fair. You're lying. But
because there's perceived value of how much someone's going to pay for a t-shirt versus an
right.
art piece that goes on the wall.
So he knew his market and he did quite well at it. But I knew that this is cheating. You're not telling people these are not originals.
Yeah, do you have a final, like a wrap up?
Oh my gosh. No.
Questions?
Have you gotten any questions yet?
No. I had a list.
There's a lot of writing in that little book. Katie.
Yeah, okay. I have pages. I came prepared, and then I liked you and just read none of it.
I understand. That's how it
So
goes.
if you hated us, you would have gone through all your questions.
Yeah.
If you would have been
Let's
less
just go on to the
charming,
next one, shall we?
I would have. Yeah.
Just so dang charming.
Well, I mean, as just sort of maybe a finishing up here. I mean, Katie, I think you're going to do a great job.
Yes.
I'm very excited that you're taking it over. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, David and I, we talked about how we sort of created it, but I don't really feel like it's really about us. It was never really about us at all.
No, it's about me.
Yeah, it was all about. We were all doing it.
And then when
for him.
Tamara took over, it was all about her.
That's right.
But
That's right.
no, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it just feels so good to know that the
it's
art
carried on.
community is still going to have a place where they can actually have a voice. That's
Thank God.
unfiltered.
Because as we just talked about, with the way things are going in the world nowadays, the artists do need a voice.
Yeah.
Do you have a pitch? Are you selling something? Do you have a show
Not at
coming
this-
up?
Oh no, I don't.
Do you have a website to pitch where people can buy your stuff?
I've got one I haven't updated in years, but I'm terrible. I
I
don't
have
even
a,
have prints.
I have a new series I'm starting, and I'm going to issue, you'll see this on my social media, I'm going to issue a call, it's going to be like a multimedia show, there's going to be a sound component, and I'm going to be collecting women's voices and opinions about a particular political thing happening. So I will be issuing a call for this, and I've set up a Google Voice number, and I'm going to get people like call in and leave me a voicemail, and at the next show I have, which is, I'm working on when it's going to be, but it'll be at Gallery 2424.
Cool.
And
Nice.
so I'm gonna have a whole sound component playing women's voices
another
at the
good
same
spot.
time in the background of the painting. So I'm excited.
Do you have a time frame for this?
It's gonna be, I think, in the wintertime, and I think the show is gonna be called The Winter of Our Discontent.
So as you're putting stuff up, you're coming back on the show for another final.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Why not?
That'd be great.
Well, so she's doing something legitimate, but I can tell you, I live stream Dungeons and Dragons games on my YouTube channel, RPGs and Baby Makes 3. My first episode has 4,000 views.
I love that
good.
for you.
Ew. And you still have a podcast of that, right? Do you still do
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
we
really
have
spend a
time.
lot. It still exists, I guess, technically.
So it started as a podcast and then moved to YouTube?
Yeah, so we've
Interesting.
been playing for almost 3 years. And
Wow.
just streaming. It's like 70.
And when you say
60.
we, it's you and your wife.
No,
No?
it's me and 2 Savannahans, and then 3 guys in England.
Do you make
Wow.
money off of this
Nice.
venture?
No.
Some people do. Stop. Like my little brother watches people that make money for like
Oh, totally. I know.
commentating
I'm
video
sure
games.
there is a way to do it.
To monetize that, Rob.
Yeah, that's easy.
So
that one out, yeah.
I'm gonna refer back to Tamara, who said something very wise that has stuck with me the last time that I interviewed her for her show over at Hopatomica, and that's that people don't have hobbies anymore. And I just want to have a hobby. I don't want it to be monetized. I don't care. I don't edit it. We stream it
That's
because there are some
terrible.
people who are interested in it. But I just want to do it for fun.
Yeah.
I don't want it to become another thing that is somehow becomes a task I have to do
Yeah.
and has this pressure of it.
There's
So-
been this unfortunate thing for our generation that everything has to turn into a gig, like a gig economy.
Oh.
And we have to
True.
collate all of our hobbies together and they have to make money somehow because we all are like these rats scrambling around, in capitalism. So
So I
Oh,
clean swimming pools
God.
and then I play Dungeons and Dragons.
I love that
good
for
hobbies,
you.
yeah.
Some makes me really happy.
It's beautiful.
Did you ever listen to my shows after I took?
No one
Sorry,
was. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I listen to your
Aw.
I was
shows.
curious. I was just curious if you ever
I
listened.
mean, I didn't listen to every one, but
No, that's okay.
I wanted to.
No,
I
you were
really
good.
want to listen to the Jazz Hamilton one.
Okay.
That you just recently did.
Yeah,
I love
she
Jazz.
was cool.
She's great. She's really great.
She is. Thanks.
I am
Thanks for your
working.
support.
So the fact that I know
At
that
the
at least shows I'm
Pirates
looking.
You
Museum.
really are, yeah.
We
Thank
are.
you.
I've been an artist with the company for decades.
I
So
can't tell if you're kidding or not. You're working at the
I-
Pirates Museum?
We are building the Pirates Museum. It's underneath the Prohibition Museum, which we built 9 years ago. And now we're doing the pirate thing. And then we're doing a distillery. I'm going to do a mural there on MLK, where the old trolley barn was.
So you're coming back too. Call me.
Oh, I've been working, but
When it's
I do
released.
commercial.
That's great.
That's commercial work. And
Everybody
that's
likes murals.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah, he does murals and signs. But he,
Signs
he does a lot around City Market. Murals
all
and
that
signs.
jazz. Yeah, I did their signs. But the Pirate Museum is interesting because I don't like the concept. So we've
Do
got.
you like the paycheck?
I like the paycheck a lot, and they pay me to come in and just paint and make stuff
Exactly.
up. I've molded my hands last week for a statue we're doing. I get paid for that.
Cool.
You're
Things
going to be
like-
the pirate hands?
Yeah.
You'll be the model?
It'll be the second statue
I'm
I've
excited
done.
for
with my-
this.
matter of fact,
Who's the pirate that you're going to be?
Ben Hornigold.
God, you came up,
That is his name. I swear to God.
you came up with that
He
name
was
so
the
quickly.
one. He was the one who hired Blackbeard before they became pirates.
Sure he was,
He was
buddy.
Blackbeard's boss.
Uh-huh.
So we've got a
Hornigold, huh?
statue of him now, and those are my hands when you see him.
Well,
So
that's
amazing.
as good a place as any. Rob. Thanks again to Tamara Garvey, Rob Hessler, and David Laughlin, all fine artists and arts journalists, for giving me the background information on the show I'm inheriting and for getting me up to speed with the state of the arts here in Savannah. I thoroughly enjoyed our jam session, and I hope they enjoyed it too. Now that I know how microphones work and have been given a crash course in editing, I can't wait to dive right in. Jose Ray will join me for the next broadcast, where we'll chat about his recent murals, fine art, where he DJs, and maybe get some new sound bites. If you have an upcoming art event that you'd like to pitch, reach me at Arts on the Air's Instagram or Facebook account, or by emailing artontheair1075@gmail.com. See you later, Hostess City.